Hey guys, I just want to spend a few minutes here to address and talk about one of the more common questions that we get, and I think misconceptions that we get regarding this time of year in the baseball calendar. So, it's about that time of year up north where player summer seasons are kind of coming to an end or about to end pretty soon, and there's a chunk of time in between that and when fall ball starts up again. And players come to us and they ask us, what should I do in between? Should I take some time off, or maybe they just tell us that they want to take time off, and that's a decision that they're making. And for us, we totally understand, and I think you need to remember that these are for the most part amateur athletes who undergo a lot of mechanical strain, emotional strain, psychological strain, and maybe they do need some time off, and that's something that we should promote and push them towards. But at the same time, we still need to keep in mind at least that the body is a dynamic system and it responds to what we ask it to do. Okay. And from a mechanical standpoint, at least a tissue mechanic standpoint, if we stop asking it to do something, we're going to run into issues. Okay. So we know that if we go and lift weights and we do it progressively over time, we're going to get bigger and stronger. Right. We also know that if we go and try to run a marathon out of nowhere, we're probably going to get hurt. Okay. It goes the other way too. So if we've built up about 4 or 5 months of being able to withstand, a certain amount of throws, a certain amount of sprints, and a certain amount of swings, and we just all of a sudden take time off, our body's ability to withstand those demands in 3, 4, 5 weeks from now are going to be a lot lower. Okay, so we really need to keep in mind that yes, although we need to take some time off potentially, and maybe we need to reorganize some things from a movement standpoint or restore some range of motion or some things along those lines, we also really need to keep in mind that that high load, high intensity load, high velocity load is still an important thing for our body to ensure that we're ready for a fall ball season. Okay, so if we have way too much demand coming in September and our capacity to withstand that has kind of gone down, we're putting ourselves at a greater risk of potentially injuring ourselves. Okay, so something to keep in mind. And our general recommendation is to potentially take a little bit of time off, but we still need to get in the gym and maintain throwing and swinging and sprinting load at least a couple times a week. For us, it's a period of time where we can actually train and get better for the fall ball season, especially if you're trying to improve, your chances of moving on, and you're going to have a little bit of exposure. It's a tremendous period where we can create an adaptation in about 4 to 5 weeks for you to get better and have a greater skill set. But if you decide against that, you still need to throw and you still need to swing and you still need to sprint, because if you just take that time off and jump right back into it, you're putting yourself at a greater risk of injury.